Please pardon me for a moment while I rant, but I have to ask, what happened to the great leaders? Great leaders throughout history that have defined themselves by standing up against the status quo and even in the face of great risk to their popularity, money, honor, and even their lives persevered for the common good. These are the kind of men and women that I want to see elevated to power in our country and our state. The problem I have is that when I examine the leaders we've elected in Oklahoma, I'm not seeing true leadership. Now, I'm not claiming that being a lawmaker is easy. Far from it. Being a senator or a representative in any state is a tremendous, high-pressure responsibility. But what is easy is writing legislation and voting purely along party lines. Our state leaders have stuck to the easy decisions. And you know the ones that I'm talking about. Writing and pushing pro-gun legislation in a red state where there is no gun control to worry about. Not leadership. And that's pandering. Now, I'm pro-life, but releasing an anti-abortion bill meant to draw legal scrutiny to get the Supreme Court to examine and overturn Roe v. Wade. Both clever and well-intentioned, but the sponsor of this bill knows it is going to fail.
What this bill does is lay a marker. It declares the intention of an overwhelming number of legislators in Oklahoma that their fervent desire is to ban abortion entirely. So this is really more legislation as public relations.
Meaning this legislation is purely symbolic and won't accomplish anything, except pissing off half of the country and getting the sponsor's name in national headlines as a pro-life conservative, while Oklahoma is crumbling. Masterful politics, but not leadership. Refusing to look at the tax breaks that we give to the oil companies while they pay their CEOs enormous bonuses in the midst of a very big economic downturn.
We do have a revenue problem. We said it for years. We have a revenue problem. You can't give $400 million a year away to the oil and gas industry with the largest and most generous gross production tax cuts of any oil-producing state in the nation and then turn around and say those $400 million are vital to that billion-dollar industry, but this $231 to a woman who makes $20,000 a year is expendable. We could take it away to balance our budget and make sure those fat cats who have the well-heeled lobbyists outside get their $400 million.
All while their waste wells are making Oklahoma the earthquake capital of the United States. That's not leadership, it's pandering. And it's dangerous. Go online and check out the infrastructure report card for this state and see how many of our roads, bridges, and overpasses are already in bad condition, and think about how many of them are getting shaken by an average of 2 quakes a day. It's a punishment on our schools and citizens who are being held hostage by leadership that think diversifying our economy means just bringing as many oil companies to Tulsa as they can.
By the way, 25 new companies are now locating in Tulsa in the oil and gas business.
Now keep in mind, I haven't said a thing yet about how the state's leaders have stripped our schools to the bone and told our teachers year in and year out to do more with less. Our legislators are not agents of growth. They have become mere curators of the status quo, and Oklahoma needs true leadership. Now here's where I get afraid, folks. These people all got elected on our watch, and soon you are going to see their signs littering the Oklahoma streets and their commercials all over the airwaves. And you're going to hear them talk about how they fought to protect your gun rights, how they fought to protect the unborn, and how this budget shortfall on the schools being turned into Thunderdome is all the fault of someone else. They're banking on you having a short memory, and they're banking on us just not voting. It's time to update our state. An informed, engaged electorate is the only defense we have in this next election season. So everyone, I beg you, I'm pleading with you, stop being a vegetable and start researching our candidates. Ignore this ridiculous, antiquated Democrat-Republican he said, she said form of politics and start examining the issues that will actually affect us as a state. Figure out where you stand and do something about it. There are a ton of new candidates running this year, and believe me, I am not alone in this. I think it's time for some new management. Let's get some fresh blood into our House and Senate in this state. And who knows, we just might find a real leader or two among them.